he's powerlifted, he's run, and you've had a lot of hip issues, correct?
Yeah.
And what were some of those?
Well, just pain in hip flexors, pain in the IT band, pain back here in my butt, and then also some groin pulls.
So basically he's had non-active glutes his entire life, and I'm going to show you why that is. So today we're just going to focus on one glute exercise. To fix his hip, it's going to be 4 other exercises that we add on to this in our app, okay? But I'm going to show you this specific one because this is one of the most challenging, and it's going to have the most effect on fixing it. But again, you have to do the full system. So keep in mind, we're just showing you one, but this, if you have the app, you can apply this directly over to your technique so you understand. All right, so let's focus on your left side first. Bend the knees a little bit, just like that, and we're going to get the heels a little bit behind the butt line. We don't want to be here on this. We want to be here. And then we're going to take this leg, we're going to put it here, high up on the calf, and we're going to turn our body down. Just go ahead and turn. Good. Fingers and thumb, and we want this turned down just a little bit. And if you're in the correct position, you will see a little bit of a C shape in your spine here. You don't want to be rounded out like that. And look at his ear right down into a nice line here. Then we're going to take the pad. I'm going to put the pad under here. And then we're going to take this. We're going to start him off. Usually you want to do about 4 or 5 pounds. I like using an ankle weight here. You can use a dumbbell. It just requires a little bit more balance and coordination. Now, this is the proper angle here. And I'm going to show you what we need to do. But this is where he wants to be. You see how if this is square, he's almost like 3 or 4 inches forward here. Go ahead and lift the knee without the hip moving backwards. Stay right there. Now in this angle, we already did this. In this angle, where do you feel it? More here? Yeah. He feels it more up toward his TFL. So I'm going to actually roll him back slightly. Is that better there? And now you feel here? Now he feels, you want to feel it. If I squeeze my butt together, there's that half moon shape right here. That's where he's going to start. What I want you to understand is, for him now, this is his start point. Don't try to go higher with the knee and just hold. I'm going to show you what level, and this is what you guys have to understand is, now what his goal is not to get this knee up higher. His goal is to get to the original position over time here. Go ahead, lift up. This is where we want to be able to get him and get the glute to fire. But you feel it more up here still, correct? So he's going to start here, but over the weeks to come, he's not going to try to work the knee up higher. He's going to try to work the leg down lower. And then once he masters it to here, then he's going to start trying to work the knee up, keeping that hip angle. That's what you have to understand. You got to go. So right there, that's a great start point for him, and you feel it all right here, correct? Perfect. Okay, so that's the basic. Go ahead and take a break. And you had some back problems too, correct?
Yeah.
How much back problem? If you want to talk into the camera.
Okay. Well, I had some compression fractures in my thoracic spine.
Trying to lift too heavy?
Yeah, just lifting too much.
How old were you when you got the compression fracture?
60. Oh no, that was a year ago. So I was 69 when I got the compression.
69. So he was trying to lift heavy at 69. So without any glute support, and that's what I was. You didn't understand that the glutes support the lower back.
No.
The glutes, if you don't have the glutes where they need to be, whenever you go to do low back exercise, whenever you go to do deadlifts, the glutes aren't working. You go down into this position, hip hinge, boom, all the pressure is going to go under the disc. So you have to build up the glutes. That's why he couldn't sustain himself, especially at that age. If you don't have the glutes, you're done. Now, let's look at the levels of this, just so you guys understand. We're here like this. So he had to start with his hips just a little bit back. That's where he felt it. He's going to work down. And so this is the proper angle here. This is what you want to be able to get into. A couple inches off the floor. He's going to try to master that. Then once he masters that, then he'll start moving with it up to that spot. Notice how my hip is not moving. Now I'm going to let go of this weight here. Usually I use an ankle weight, but because this thing slides off. But here, Then the next level is trying to get it to the top of the hip, okay, without the hip moving backward. Notice I'm maintaining, I'm not leaning back. And what's kind of cool about trying to balance the weight, it forces you to put your hip in the correct position, because if you don't, and roll back too much, it starts sliding down and sliding off. So it is kind of cool with this. We're just going to show the hip height levels. So this is where he wants to, this is the position he wants to get in. That's where we're going to start him off with. So if you notice, he's like an inch forward from parallel. That's his start point. And then he's going to try to work down to 3 inches forward. And if he doesn't feel that glute, we know that he's got to stay back here. Okay, rest, that's good, done. So another issue that clients have is protein levels. So how much protein were you getting? Or are you getting currently? You said about 40 grams?
Yeah, maximum of 40 grams.
Okay, so and how long have you been eating like that, with around 40 grams? Maybe 10 years?
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
Okay, so remember that protein, like animal products, that's where all your vitamin and minerals are, except for basically your magnesium and calcium. You're going to have a lot more of that with the plants, with the green leaves. But as far as protein markers go, like if he doesn't have his protein levels up, he's not going to get enough amino acids. He's not going to recover fast, especially with an injury like this, with his back, with his hips. So initial stages, I try to get the client to eat 100 grams of protein, and then eventually 125 grams. And then over the course of 6 months to 12 months, I'm going to try to get them to their lean body mass to eat their weight in protein. So if you weigh, how much do you weigh?
170.
170, let's say lean, if he was to lose all his body fat, let's say it's 155. So I would try to get him to hit around 155, 170 grams of protein per day. Now, at this age, if he's not used to eating like that, that's why we have to start around 100, because that's going to be very challenging for him. The biggest issue is when people start eating that amount, they start getting fat, and they go, why? Well, because you have to reduce some of your other calories down. So if you're going to start consuming that much protein, especially if you have high fatty meats, then you're going to have to drop your carbohydrates down. So I always tell people, like, look, okay, you're going to do that. Let's keep your carbs around 100 grams. That way you're going to have less issues on gaining weight. So raise the protein, let's lower our carbohydrates down, and we'll let the animal fat be our fat. If you want to eat some nuts, if you want to add some olive oils and stuff like that, or even a little bit of butter, I'm comfortable with that, but you have to adjust your carbohydrates down to at least 100 grams. So that's what I'm going to do with him. I want to get his protein levels up. Now the other thing is, he's not taking magnesium, he's not taking calcium, and the thing is with these leafy greens is you got to eat a ton of those in order to get it out of that. And we know that the soil's not as good, so you might as well just take a supplement. So I'm going to get him on magnesium, glycinate. He's already taking a lot of calcium, and I want to get him an iodine. That's another thing people don't eat. You're not going to eat a lot of seaweed. It's great for the thyroid. So magnesium, iodine, and how much vitamin D were you taking?
1,000.
1,000. In my opinion, again, some doctors will be like, oh, if you get it too high, you're going to hurt yourself with vitamin D. Maybe there's some rare people that if they get their vitamin D levels too high, it can be toxic. But I want him to take at least 5,000 units per day for the rest of his life. I'm not a doctor. Maybe some other doctor will look at his blood and say, okay, no, he's going to get hurt doing that. But I haven't seen one client yet that doesn't improve their vitamin D levels that ends up getting hurt worse. So,
good.
All right.